It's time for Talkin Tauntauns,
Star Wars discussion podcast from reviews of the latest shows and books to breaking news and thoughtful interviews. Join us as we dive into all things from a galaxy far, far away.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Talkin Tauntauns. I am Jim Lahane. Joining me today, I know I swore that she was real. She didn't move to Canada. She doesn't go to another school. It's Nicole H. Quinn.
Hello there. Yeah, I wish I had moved to Canada, but that's not what we're dealing with right now.
Yeah.
Nope.
We've had some rough scheduling.
Oh God, yeah. Yep.
This exact episode was scheduled for the beginning of July.
Oh my God, yeah, you're right.
You were sick and
Yeah.
weren't able to record.
Correct.
And I forgot, for some reason, like it actually worked out for me. But then
Yeah.
I was away for 2 weeks.
Yep.
And so we were trying to do the Clayton interview. And that scheduling also got messed up. Not your fault.
Thank God. Something wasn't my fault.
Yeah. And then when Clayton was actually on, you were sick.
I was sick again.
You were sick for that one.
Yep.
And so you weren't able to come on. And then you were busy when we did the Mortis episode, which you had wanted to come on, but the timing didn't work out because obviously it happens when it happens as we go through the series. So now we're back. You do exist.
I'm here. I'm alive. I'm breathing somehow.
And we are able to wrap up Andor.
Thank God.
You did watch the episodes, right?
What? There was reading? I didn't do reading.
Yeah, no, there wasn't any reading. You did, well, I guess it depends. You read
I do read the subtitles.
Yeah. How are you doing, Nicole?
I'm alive. I'm doing all right. I'm doing a lot of apartment things. I'm so tired. I just went through this whole story with Jim, but I'm going to do it again. There was a painting debacle. That's the short version. I had waited 6 months to do a second coat of paint on the wall that sits right behind me as I'm sitting here right now. Finally did the second coat last week, but didn't cut it because I thought it'd be fine. It wasn't fine. So I just did the edges / cut it. I started about 25 minutes before we had to sit and record this podcast. And I got it done. I was like, let me just do like one line and see if it starts to work. And I was like, oh, that took me 3 minutes. So I just kept going. And I had enough paint. So I thought I was going to have to go back to Lowe's and get more paint because I didn't think that I had enough to cut. And then I did. And it's a miracle. And I don't have to go anywhere today. That's the point of the story. So I'm happy that I could sit in this apartment all day and not leave. That's a good day.
Excellent. That's definitely a good day.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Work is still weird. But the work on the house is, as I mentioned to you, anybody who follows me on any of the socials that I'm on, I post pictures periodically of the work I'm currently working on the house.
Right.
And the workout room has been the big one. I think I may have started in November or December. And it's been ever ongoing because it's in a place in the house that everything runs through. So I need to get all electrical, all piping done before I can even work on finish the room. It is like seconds away from being done. I was working on it and I'm like, oh, I got 5 minutes. Better go to log on to do this episode.
Yeah.
But it is so close. I am so happy that will be done. We have a whiteboard on the fridge where we put grocery lists, but also have a list of things that need to be done on the house.
Yeah.
They have been there so long they don't erase anymore.
No. Oh, that's bad. That's a long time. That takes a while. Yep.
So
you need a whiteboard now.
Yeah. Well, it's I found if you just use the whiteboard markers, it'll reactivate the ink if you like kind of scribble on them. Works the same for Sharpies. Anybody's interested. If you Sharpie on a whiteboard, and let it dry. If you use a whiteboard marker and scribble on the Sharpie, it will make that Sharpie ink erasable.
That's so odd.
It's the alcohol in it.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
Reactivates, and so you don't need anything special. You just need to do that. I did that in my boss's office once, and he's like, "This isn't going to work," and I did it, and he's like, "Okay, then." It's
freaking oops.
Wizard.
Yeah. Shocking. No, that's cool. It's cool stuff.
So that will be one item finally off the list, and then this entire house, I'll have 2 rooms completely done.
Fantastic. And
then time to move on to another project I had started like 3 years ago that isn't done yet.
Yep, sounds right. That sounds like home ownership.
It is.
Not that I would know anything about that, but
it's me home ownership as we remodeled the entire house or had work on the entire house, and so putting things together is like a Lego.
Yeah,
you got to do it compartmentalized. Because I got yelled at when I worked on everything at once because nothing gets done.
Yeah.
My wife's like drew a square on the floor and said, "You stay here until you're done."
Yeah, that sounds right.
All right. You ready for our topic at hand?
I think so.
Suddenly the rebellion is real for you. Some of us live it. I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old. You're not the only one who lost everything. Some of us just decided to do something about it.
All right. We are talking the final 3 episodes of Andor season 2, or Andor in general. Season 2, episode 10, Make It Stop. Episode 11, Who Else Knows? And episode 12, Jedha, Kyber, Erso. And I have a lot of thoughts about a lot of this.
Thank goodness.
Yes. But generally, what are your feelings?
I have one thought. I love when I'm right.
Oh,
I love
that
when I'm
everything ties back to...
Everything's the Death Star.
And they literally called it out. They literally called it out.
I love... Now, I was specifically talking about Gorman. And I literally said they need something. They need a mineral. They need fuel. They need something from Gorman. That's why they're mining Gorman is for the Death Star. I love when I'm right about stuff. And I don't often get to say, hey, I was right. But I was right. And I'm proud of that. And I'm happy about it. They really tied everything together in a way that was pretty impressive, honestly. It was solid. It wasn't... I find it interesting that the last 3 episodes of this show were not the best 3 episodes of this show. I think the Gorman arc was better, so it kind of felt like a little bit of it was your falling action for the most part. Like most of this arc was your falling action of the story. So it felt a little deflating to just watch those 3 episodes. It was like a little bit of a letdown.
That's kind of how season 1 did too.
Yeah,
it's the exact same thing. It kind of went up to the prison arc, which was the best, probably the best of the entire series.
I think so.
And then it went down a little. Like it wasn't terrible, but they were like not as great. And it's just kind of similar here.
It levels out.
We went out, and it kind of went down a little. It's fine.
Yeah. No, nothing wrong with that. I do also feel like it didn't end at all, but that's because Rogue One is the actual ending of this story. There is no ending of this story. It doesn't end in a satisfying way if you haven't seen Rogue One.
But it leads you into Rogue One. If you have not seen Rogue One and you watch this first, then you just go straight into Rogue One. You just go into
Rogue One, yeah.
Which I was surprised that Disney Plus didn't, mentioned you should watch Mandalorian. I'm like, no, you should watch Rogue One. That's it. That's the one that should be silly at the end of this episode.
I meant to ask my parents because, shocker among all shockers, my parents watched this show. My dad knows almost nothing about Star Wars, but he wanted to watch Andor because he kept hearing about how good it was. Not from me, from other freaking people. And they watched it. And I didn't get to ask them before doing this right now, like, hey, how'd you feel about that? Because, I watched Rogue One with them, but they both fell asleep. So they have no concept of what this is leading into. They definitely don't know what Yavin is. So that's fun. And yeah, so I meant to ask them that and I didn't get a chance. But I'm very curious to know what that viewing experience is, because if you don't know what happens in Rogue One, the end was kind of a big nothing burger. But I don't know how you do anything else when you have to lead into Rogue One. That's the whole point of this. But like
you already have the bookmark, or not the bookmark, the book end.
Yeah.
And you're building up to it. So that is your climax.
Yeah. So, but it was fine. I mean, I wasn't like blown away. There were moments and aspects of it that hit really hard, but I wasn't like as blown away by this arc as I was by at least 2 other arcs in the series.
Mm-hmm. So I wanted to bring this up. I'll bring it up now.
Yeah.
1 BBY, or BBY1 as the episode calls it.
Whatever. Yeah.
I learned that is the year designation, not 1 year before the Battle of Yavin, as this episode takes place seconds before Rogue One, which takes place like minutes before A New Hope.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that. And then I was, like I'd mentioned before, I have my own timeline, and this episode came out, these 3 episodes, and I'm like, wait a second. And so I went to the Timelines book that they came out with. And so apparently 1 BBY is a year designation, not 1 year before the Battle of Yavin. It is everything that is 1 year before the battle, or within 1 year.
Yeah, totally. Like a calendar year. It's a calendar year.
And I never thought of it that way. I would always think of like, this would be 3 days BBY.
Oh, yeah, no.
And so I'm like,
yeah, it's like 10,000 BC. This is like 1 BC, but it could be like a month before the Common Era.
Yeah. And then, but like, there is a 0 year in the Star Wars, whereas there is no 0 year in our calendar. There's a 0 year in the Star Wars calendar, because then you're looking at 0 ABY. And so I was like, that threw me through a loop, because we had talked about, this will end 1 year before Rogue One. No, it ends
2 seconds before Rogue One.
Yeah, I'd say maybe a day, because they said Tivik is going to be on, I forgot the name of I literally just watched it like an hour ago. Yeah. Tivik will be at the station until tomorrow.
Right.
And so it's at least a day, maybe less, before Rogue One.
Right. Yeah. Very interesting.
So I also thought it was interesting how they broke up the episodes. Typically the episodes like they make an arc, but they're still fairly well like contained episodes.
Yeah.
11 and 12 are not. 11 and 12 are one episode.
Pretty much.
Because like it ends on a cliffhanger. And I don't think any of the episodes have really done that.
There's not one popping up in my head. I do feel like the prison arc kind of felt like one long episode, but I'm not sure. Because I feel like one of them ended with, there was like a line. I'll think of it. Don't worry about it. Move on.
So, but the first of the 3, Make It Stop, really was kind of like a standalone, kind of standalone, as much of a standalone episode as you can get.
Yeah, it was pretty killer.
The end of Luthen.
R.I.P.
Also the end of Dedra.
Yeah. Wow. What a how to blow your life up in 5 seconds or less. Like, absolutely wild. That, I mean, she's a mess. But yeah, she is kind of not the singular reason, but she's the reason the Death Star fails. Like, you can trace everything back to her.
Yes. And actually, I liked how there was one line. I didn't catch it the first. I watched this when we were supposed to record 2 months ago.
Sure.
And then I watched it again. And there was one line in the preview for the episode I did not catch. It's when her director, I forget his name.
With the P name.
Yeah, like it's like Parvati or something.
Pavlov or whatever.
Yeah.
That guy.
There's in the recap, he's mentioning to her that you've built this Axis guy up so much, and it's so far been a nothing burger, essentially, as you said.
As I said.
And he literally says, next time, catch them first. That's the quote. Next time, catch them first.
And then make... Yeah.
And so that's it. That's where this problem came from.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what she did. Or,
I mean, yeah.
Well, tried.
Yeah.
You let the guy holding the knife that you knew was holding a knife walk away from you while holding a knife.
Yeah, that was woof. Yeah. You knew he was gonna do it. You knew he shows her the it's like it's a very truncated version of the pistol rule. There's a rule in theater that if you show a pistol or a gun in Act 1, it has to go off by Act 3.
Chekhov's gun.
Thank you, Chekhov's gun. I don't know what the hell I just called it, but I need
the pistol
caffeine.
Rule.
The pistol rule. Yeah, it's Chekhov's gun. You're exactly right. Holy crap, I need caffeine in my life. Yeah, it has to go off. It went off in about 2 seconds. That gun went off immediately. He's like, oh, the bleeder or whatever the heck. And then I was like, well, he's about to use that on himself. Like, this is about to get weird. Because there was no world in which she was just there. You know, like from the second I saw her face, I was like, oh, he's dead. Like, he's so dead. And that was sad. But yeah, everything went absolutely belly up from there for them. And she knows it. Like, she knows it. And it was what's his name? Lonnie? What was it?
Lonnie was the informant.
Yeah, bless him. And he was like, if it wasn't for him, that would never have gotten out.
Yes.
It never would have gotten out. So it's really, I mean, it was her files, and it is her fault that everything goes belly up. But because my God, what she does from there is madness. But it was her files, and she doesn't even know at that point. Like, she's so focused on Axis that she doesn't realize that she's been hacked to pieces. She doesn't even know. She's just, got blinders on, and damn, it just falls apart around her. And that is something.
The actor, not Dedra, Denise Gao.
Mm-hmm.
She did absolutely amazing when she was being interrogated by Krennic.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, that was crazy.
Her facial reactions were so good when he's like, when did you give your passcode to now I forget his name.
Lonnie's last name is.
Yeah, when did you give your passcode to him? And her facial reaction of, why on God's earth would I ever give my passcodes to him?
Yeah.
We're like, it was like perfect. It was like that's the dumbest question you could ask me. No, I never gave him.
No.
It's like, well, that's why you're sitting in a prison cell at the end of the series.
Yeah, that's why your life falls apart. Yeah, buddy, that was a rough fall. Like, I obviously was rooting for it the entire time, but like, what a way to fall. Like, that was steep and quick and bad. That was a bad. She went from, I finally got access, I did it, it's on, like, I did it, glory is mine, to prison cell. Life is over. Which is very much the Empire.
Within 3 days.
Within days. Craziness. Absolutely. And she knows exactly how bad it is that, like, now the rebels, the rebellion, know that there's a Death Star. Maybe they don't know what it is, but they know there's a weapon. And that's bad. That's really bad. And who knows what else Lonnie knew that he didn't tell Luthen before Luthen, of course, killed him. Like, duh. And then just left him on a park bench. I was like, that is cold. But it's also very Luthen, a very Luth, like, he's like, I've been made. Like, I am hot. Like, I need to get the heck out of here. And he's like, well, we're going to Yavin. You're not coming with us, but we're going to Yavin. And yeah.
I found it surprising that he even mentioned Yevon to him.
Yeah. Yeah. That was for us, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's also, I think, to keep him talking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, that was and then the whole Clea sequence was fantastic. Her breaking into the hospital and doing it all. I love that, like, they initially are like, oh, it has to be at least 3 people. And it's like, no, one. It's one. It's our girl. And she absolutely killed it. Talk about acting. The range of emotion that the woman who plays Clea demonstrated in that episode. She did all of it. She did everything. She did stuff that we haven't seen her do. She's been so, like, together and so, like, composed the entire series. And then she goes nuts. She goes nuts in these next few episodes in a way that is so believable and so human and so wonderful. And she stole the show, I felt like.
I'm pretty sure this is her first acting gig.
Get out of here.
So her name, Elizabeth Dulau. I heard mention that this was her first acting gig, and looking on Google, she has 3 credits.
Mm-hmm.
But Andor was the first one.
Get out of here.
Apparently
Maybe
she's in Wicked as well.
Who is she? Hang on. I'm trying to find her. There she is. Oh, she's a deer. Yeah, she's got a little baby credit. She's a deer.
Oh.
No, she's been in other stuff. She started acting in 2020. What is this? What is Grapes? I don't know what it is, but then Hard Pass. She did some short films. Yeah, she did short films. And she was in Gentleman Jack. 2 episodes of Gentleman Jack. So she did, like, little bit parts for a while. And then she did Andor after that. She did 2 short films, a TV series, and then she did an episode of Outlaws, and then she did Andor. So she did a few things, but this is her first probably major role for sure.
Well, according to the internet, it says that this is her first role after graduating from drama school.
Okay, so she did some stuff. She
appeared in short films like Hard Pass and Grapes in 2020, the same year she was cast in Andor.
Okay, so yes, fair enough. But yeah, she's killer. We're going to see some crazy stuff from her.
She is, like, great. And, like,
she's very good.
The way she, it's not the makeup, but the way she holds herself and, like, the way she does her hair influences the way she acts, which she is almost unrecognizable between parts. Like, she can kind of alter her persona.
Yeah, she's very good. She's a good chameleon. Yeah, really, really great.
I did like the where what you had mentioned. It's like, oh, there must be multiple people, and they're looking at the video cameras. They're like, who's that? Oh, she's just a nurse.
She's just a nurse. Crazy. Yeah, it was good that she's a master of disguise for sure. You totally buy her as a spy. Like, it's great. It's really good. Andor hardly appears in his own show for these first episode and a half, I want to say. He's not
I was gonna say, I'm like, I don't think he's in the Make It Stop episode.
No, he's not in Make It Stop
at all.
No. Nope.
I found, so we had mentioned before, we did not watch these when they first came out. Like I said, I watched this 2 months ago, which is still significantly after it came out.
Yeah.
There was a couple things I thought I was spoiled on that turns out I was very, 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 very wrong.
Great. Love it.
And Clea is one of those. I thought, based on the rumors the spoiler rumors that I was trying to avoid, that she was Andor's sister.
Oh.
And with her backstory here, that we get her backstory in this episode before how she teams up with Luthen, and how Luthen is really a father to her, despite him saying otherwise.
Cold. Stone cold.
So I'm your daughter now? Oh, when it's convenient. Like, ouch.
Yikes. That's a big yikes.
But it made it seem like she was Andor's sister, and that she came from that same planet that Andor did. But it turns out that no, completely wrong. Especially like I had to look it up, because I'm like, they never like specifically stated it, but maybe they were just implying. No, not even that. Like, Tony Gilroy has specifically come out and said, no, we never see Andor's sister ever again.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the point of the dream that he was having. It was kind of one of those, the dream that Andor was having at the end of the third episode of here, where he was, to see like everybody in life has loose ends that don't get tied up. And this is supposed to be one of his loose ends.
Right.
But yeah, I went through the whole 3 episodes thinking that she was his sister.
No. Nope. I'll tell you what, I knew Luthen was going to die. Not because I knew, but because that was spoiled for me. So that was devastating. And I knew about the last shot in the show. Oh,
baby mama.
Mm-hmm. Knew about that.
That I did not know. That was one of those like, his wife. Not only is his wife, at least his wife is with B2 Emo.
Yeah. B2 Emo got, a reasonably happy end. He was having a good time. He had a buddy. He was great.
Playing,
it was fine. He was
and
fine.
And he's watching over Cassian's kid.
Yeah. Great. So there's another Andor.
Yeah. It's the next series.
Oh, great. No, it was, thought it was killer. I thought, anyway, skipping ahead. The suspense, the levels of suspense, I think we're skipping to another episode. No, let me back up. I loved seeing kind of the origins of the rebellion, like why the anger was there, and like, Luthen saying like, hold on to your anger basically until it's useful, like to paraphrase, hold on to your anger until you know what to do with it. Like, hang on to that, because otherwise you're just going to lash out and like do stuff and like spend all your energy, and like you're not actually going to be constructive. Thought that was really interesting. And then her going back to that like safe house and everything that comes with that was so interesting to me. The levels of suspense that they achieved with the I guess ISB people or Imperial, whoever they were.
ISB.
Yeah. Trying to go get her. Yeah, that was tense. That was because I didn't know if she was going to make it or not. I was like, there ain't no way. And then you got Cassian coming in at the same time. And I was like, oh, heck.
And we've already seen, the first thing we've seen of Cassian in Rogue One is he offs the informant guy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know.
We know we're leading up to that part. So it's like, I couldn't actually remember it. I thought she made it out after, I'm like, again, 2 months ago, I'm like, I think Clea gets out, but like clearly she's not in Rogue One. We don't see her again. She doesn't have to get out for the story.
Almost everyone gets wiped out in the show and
or
taken right off
least.
The board. Yeah. Just gets absolutely wiped clean. Yeah, that was really suspenseful, really good, really well done. The use of K2SO was good. Thought that was fine.
I needed more.
I mean, yes, I could have used more.
Every line he had was like perfect, and I had seen a video when or a picture. They had a behind the scenes picture where K2, I think it's when they're playing cards when he's first introduced. and it's literally Alan Tudyk.
Yeah, it's Alan Tudyk. Yep.
In the like the black clothes and the dots all over.
Yeah,
Like,
with the thing on his head to be like, this is his face. It's up here. Like, yeah, it's good.
And then so now I'm watching this because that was I saw that only like a week ago, and so now I'm watching these episodes, knowing Alan Tudyk is literally the one walking through the building, just throwing people using a droid, which is impenetrable to bullets, is using one of the ISB agents as a shield.
Great. So good. Dark. Real great. Real good. I liked going back to that room again because there's so much happens in that room, in that safe room. So much of the series happens in between those walls, so it was nice to have like a final, almost like a goodbye to it. Yeah, so that was, and then seeing Yavin kind of as like real close to how we see it in A New Hope was really cool to kind of see that like evolution start to happen, and also seeing a lot of, you know, how we see this like council, you know, that runs the rebellion, like in Rogue One, kind of seeing them again before ? Was yeah.
I found it interesting because we see I mentioned it before actually when we were talking previous episodes, was how far Luthen seems to be falling mentally.
Oh yeah.
And he's turning into almost Saw. Like him and Saw are on a parallel path.
Yes.
Where they are very paranoid that somebody's out to get them. Clearly, that's true in both
He's
their
right.
cases.
Yeah.
But it's interesting watching them fall. But also, everyone in the rebellion has essentially dismissed Luthen because of this.
Yeah.
And they don't know who Clea is, and they're like, "Who's this Clea person?" And Mon Mothma's like, is obviously the one that knows who Clea is. Like,
yeah.
Like, and so I found that interesting. But to jump back to Clea's backstory,
yes,
you had mentioned something about that, but I really liked when they were sitting overlooking the bridge.
Oh
and he
yeah!
put
Oh my
the bomb
God!
trigger in front of her, and he's like. He's like, stop looking, like, look at me. And like, they never explained it, but it makes sense. It's like, obviously you don't want to be looking at the explosion before the explosion happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they never outright said what was going on, but it was plainly obvious what they were doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's yeah, that was just, he's training her because like, obviously, if you want to blend in, you can't be looking towards where a thing's going to happen and then not be surprised that it happens. Like, you need to kind of play, you know? You need to blend. You can't be obvious. Like, duh. She's real smart. She's in rare form today. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought that was a good scene. Yeah,
I think I really liked the entire Make It Stop episode.
Yeah, it was good.
I thought that was really well done. But you're right. The last two episodes were they were weaving into Rogue One to the point where they didn't have a point other than weaving into Rogue One.
Yep, they were there for that exact purpose, to bridge a gap, which is fair. I definitely need to rewatch Rogue One.
Yes, I wanted to turn it on immediately. Because I want to see what I understand better, and how these things overlap, and kind of where that switch happens, where you have people straight up like not believing that a weapon exists, and then like days later they're going to be sending people to get the plans for the weapon that they don't think exists. So well, if I remember correctly, they went off on their own. They didn't do they went rogue.
I need to watch it again. I need to watch it again because like I just need to watch it again because I don't remember where that bridge comes in.
Where I think it's essentially, you're right. It's been a very long time since I've seen it. So I'm with you. Is that I'm pretty sure the the group, Rogue One, went rogue, hence the reason they have the rogue, but then they had enough people convinced that Radis and everyone eventually converged.
Yeah. And you fully
that's the bridge you're
understand
looking for.
why Mon Mothma is like, yeah, this is a friggin' problem. Like this is bad. Yeah. Yeah.
But watching the last 2 episodes, it definitely was one of those where I need to keep watching. Because trying to get Clea off the planet, and then she just kind of, I guess once they get her off, she just kind of falls away plot wise. Like she's still there, but she was the MacGuffin by that point. Once Luthen was dead, she kind of like her purpose. Once she passed the information on to Andor, her role in the plot was essentially ended.
Pretty much. I mean, and that's an interesting kind of take. She's been in it for so long, like literally since she was a child. There's this like, what the hell do I now do with myself? If I'm not the most important person in this operation, what am I? There's definitely an existential question that she is battling. And I think that's why she's like walking in the rain and like Vel finds her. Vel. Oh my God. We love character development. We love it so much. She's great. Like she's so great in this episode. Cause she's really seemed to have found her spot in all of this in a way that Clea hasn't, obviously, because she just arrived. I love Vel kind of taking Clea's hand and being like, this is gonna be okay. Let me get you, let me get you a coat,
They're Luthen castoffs is kind of what it is. It's like Vel was an earlier Luthen castoff. Andor is a Luthen castoff. You have Andor's friend, Will.
Willman.
I feel like he was a castoff, and now we have Clea, who, yes, not really a castoff, but a castoff. And then she finds out, arriving on Yavin, that she doesn't have the hero's welcome that she was expecting. She was expecting her and Luthen to be these monumental figures of the rebellion. Turns out the rebellion despises them. Yeah.
Doesn't even think they're credible, and I love Andor saying, like, you guys have no idea that these are the backs that you stand on, basically. And it also explains why he's never mentioned again. Like, these people who are actually in charge of the rebellion don't credit him with what he started, with what he did, the spark that he made, that they take and like run with. That's why they never talk about him again. It's a really great way to kind of like retcon this whole history that, like, yeah, of course, the people in power don't consider him an important figure, so therefore he's never talked about. That's why Luke Skywalker doesn't know who Luthen is. Like they did a really good job of being like, this is why you never see or hear these characters again, because they're not deemed important.
Well, that's why we see Hera so much, because Hera is one of Baal's people.
Right.
And so they get mentioned throughout the rebellion because they're one of Baal's people. But Luthen is not one of Baal's people. And like literally, like Cassian doesn't like Baal either. That's one of the great lines. The man you don't like is here.
So funny. That was so funny. He's like, he's right there. Organa seems to be coming around to Andor and everything, like, slowly, which, sure.
This is slowly, but not fast enough.
Not fast enough, buddy. But yeah, it's, Bail Organa just continues to be places he shouldn't be. Like, he just continues to be where huge galactic things are happening, and he gets there too slow. He's right on top of Palpatine in the prequels, like in the prequel era. He's right there. But the man is right there and fails to do anything, truly. like fails to stop it in any reasonable way. And now we have this point where it's like, hey, buddy, there's a huge weapon. And he's like, I don't really believe you, man. He just continues to make the wrong judgment calls. And it breaks my heart.
That's it. Like they're like explaining, like there's the energy project. He's like, yeah, we've been funneling money towards it forever. He's
Yeah.
like, no, you don't understand.
It's not an energy project. It's not a thing. It's a weapon you stunad. Like, he's just killing me. Yeah, it's keep losing my train of thought today.
He definitely you're right. He's definitely like 2 steps behind.
He is
like
always.
when Mon Mothma is like, no, like we draw the line here.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, well, I'll stay here.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like 2 steps behind you.
I'll be the person in the Senate. And she's like, yeah, there's no reason for this, but fine, whatever. You do your thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's so funny to me.
Oh, I remembered. You were mentioning the safe house and how it was a wrap up at the safe house, and I loved how Clea is digging things out of the walls that have been there the entire time, literally breaking concrete to get at the little Morse code machine that apparently can transmit across the galaxy.
Pulse codes, man. Sometimes old school is the way to go.
So, yeah, I guess you're right. It's there as a wrap up to the show. It doesn't end because this is not the wrap up to the show,
right?
And I think you definitely need Andor or Rogue One, because that was how the show was designed, and so this
definitely.
is these last couple episodes. I really think it's just these last 2 that is because the death of Luthen and that whole episode was absolutely fantastic. Mm-hmm. I think that is also one of the best episodes.
Yeah, I think Make It Stop is the best of the 3 for sure.
Yeah,
like without
definitely.
a doubt. Without a doubt.
But I did like anything Krennic was in.
Oh, holy
they used
goodness.
him so well in these episodes.
Oh yeah.
He's barely there. And yeah, that's actually probably my favorite scene in these 3 episodes is when he's leaning over Dedra, go, say the name.
Yep. Say it. Death Star. And I went, hell yes. Like immediately I was like, yes. But yeah, he is terrifying and like so physically intimidating in that scene. It reads like an interrogation because it is, but it also reads like a Vader level of intimidation. In the way that Vader will choke somebody, Krennic is like throwing him around. Like, and not throwing him across the room, throwing them around in a smacking them around, like in a very like human and real way that is like very clearly not surprising to her, but terrifying to her. Like she almost expects it. And it shows that this is the type of leadership that exists throughout the Empire. Like throughout all the Imperial, not like the Imperial leaders are using intimidation more than anything else, which is not new information. I'm not like, oh, what a revelation. But it is impactful to see it with someone who was supposed to be in such good graces, someone who was supposed to be so powerful and so promising and so important in the Empire is so quickly not. Like, so quickly scum. And the way that they're like, are you a rebel spy? They're losing their minds. It shows the fractures of the Empire before we like imagine they were there.
I found it interesting actually during the interrogation that he's like bringing up stuff. He's like, why do you know about this? And she's like, well, I stumbled across that. And he's like, why do you know about Gorman? She's like, well, I had clearance on Gorman. And he's like, well, what about this and this and this? Like, you should not have clearance on these items. And that's when like that interrogation is where we learn that she done forked up.
Oh gosh, yes.
Like even more than we even knew. Like she shouldn't have even known about so many of like these aspects of the weapon. But you're right. She is the reason the Death Star failed because she compiled all the information on the Death Star that Lonnie was able to get.
Yeah, exactly. If she hadn't put it all in one place and spelled it out so clearly, Lonnie wouldn't have been able to find it in 3 hours and read through most of it in 3 hours and then deliver it to Luthen in about 35 seconds.
And then literally the name of the episode is like the perfect one. It's like Kyber Erso. It's like the entire Death Star plot in
Jedha,
3 words.
Jedha,
Kyber Erso. It's all you need. Because they never mentioned the Death Star. They didn't know the name.
No, they did not. They did not.
They never mentioned the Death Star, but somehow Dedra knew the name of the Death Star, and that's why I think he's like, say the name. He's like, Death Star, you shouldn't know that information.
Yeah.
And that's where she like that was her final nail in the coffin. Is like, you shouldn't know this.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
But yeah, I like how like Krennic is so intimidating in these episodes. To go to Rogue One, where we see him in front of Vader in essentially the role reversal, where he is like the boot-licking sycophant. It's like, oh no, what was the line? Better not choke on your aspirations.
Oh, so ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah,
so
better
Anakin.
Not choke on your aspirations, director, or whatever he says. So Anakin, the most Anakin, a ridiculous Anakin thing. I'm like, oh, he's in there somewhere. Like he's still in, because that is so weird to hear Vader make a joke like that. It's so silly.
But that's it. Like you go from him here, then 2 days later, depending on, he's like, I'm so much better than you. You completely messed up this entire operation. Yeah. To Vader, where he's like, I'm sorry, sir. Please don't murder me.
Yep. Yep. Like this guy, this is someone, Vader is someone this guy's afraid of. Everyone's afraid of this guy. Whew, buddy. Like, Vader, it makes Vader a lot scarier, which Rogue One did. Like at the end, right? That's the end of Rogue One. The Vader scene in the hallway, the like terrifying, like.
Yep.
Yeah. Rogue One made Vader the scariest he has ever been at the moment, at that time. Yes. You could argue that the last, no, not the Last Jedi. Holy crap. The video game, Fallen Order.
Oh yeah.
Fallen Order was also like, well, that's singularly terrifying. But I think that Rogue One to date, that was the scariest Vader had ever been.
Yes.
This just adds to that.
And I think I'm wondering if Partagaz, is that his name?
Yes.
All right, that's I'm looking through the list of characters. Mm-hmm. I'm like, Major, he's a Major, that's important. Partagaz, his final scene.
Whoa.
Was also one of those, like, they're waiting for you downstairs. Never says who's waiting for you downstairs. And he clearly knows the guy who told him. I don't even remember who that was. But he's like, clearly knows what's going on. He's like, give me a minute. It's like, okay. And he steps outside. He's like, just waiting for the gunshot to go off. Like, oh, like.
That was heavy in the best way. That was such a good scene, such a good end for him. Because again, it just shows, and we've known this since A New Hope, because in A New Hope, Vader would just kill people. Like, leadership had no shot. Like, you screwed up, Vader's just killing you.
It just more
extends.
Empire.
Right,
like,
that's
Empire.
Where
he's like, he goes off on the rails.
I thought it was A New Hope where he started choking the guy at the table.
Yes, you're right.
So he's always, like, close to killing people. Vader's always been doing that. But this just shows that is having power in the Empire. This is an extension of the fact that having power in the Empire is incredibly, incredibly dangerous. It is fickle. You are on a timer. It is not worth it. It is very clearly not worth it. And nobody is safe, period.
Well,
You could be the tippy top and you're like, I'm 3 seconds from death, always.
as Qui-Gon says, there's always a bigger fish.
There's always a bigger fish. Exactly. Like, you can fall so hard for seemingly no reason in the Empire, or a very small reason in the Empire, and everyone is 3 seconds from plummeting to their death. And I think that's really, really solid that has remained consistent across these stories, and in more ways than just Vader could just choke you and you'd be dead. Like, that is not a Vader thing. This is systemic.
That everyone relishes the power that they have over the people below them, but they fear the people above them.
And they fear it being taken away from them. They fear being like the people that they lead in quotation marks.
Well, that's
it's very interesting. The whole thing is so fragile. It's so fragile.
That's like you have Partagaz. Like we see, you're right. We see this entire like pecking order. Dedra, we have Partagaz above her, who he is so scared of the people ahead of him that he'd rather off himself than be interrogated or whatever it is. Then we have Krennic above him, who is terrifying to everybody below him, but is scared of Vader. And then Vader is also kneeling to the Emperor.
Right. Everyone's scared of him. And I think Tarkin fits in there above Krennic, I believe.
No, Tarkin is, at least in times of A New Hope, from what I've heard, he's parallel with Vader. They're like...
That's what I mean. Tarkin is above Krennic.
Yes.
That's what I said. So yeah, Tarkin is... Because Krennic makes mention of Tarkin at some point. And so he's scared of him. And then Tarkin's not scared of Vader.
That's why I said I think they're on par, because Tarkin was the one who told Vader to stop choking the guy.
Yeah.
Like,
but even so. Like, hey, we need him.
I actually thought it was interesting that they didn't use Tarkin in this show.
I mean, I think that they heard when people were like, the deep fake thing doesn't really, like, it's not, it can't hold. Like, we know that man is dead. And it's not good enough. Like, the technology is not good enough. And I think they didn't want to be probably accused of using AI in any way to, like, bring Tarkin into it. I think it's better to just, if they're gone, they're gone. Stop it. You know what I mean? Like, let's not do this.
Well, they did it quite a bit in The Mandalorian.
Yes. I think they heard the people didn't like it. I didn't like it.
It was weird. Uncanny Valley almost.
It's very Uncanny Valley. It's not quite right. And I don't like it.
Well, I think Tarkin here, I think having Krennic as your top tier in this show was perfect.
I agree.
Because then we go to Rogue One and we know that there's a next boss level above Krennic. And I think watching this in order, that works. But actually, in regards to the facial thing, my wife, when we went to Rogue One, she did not know that it was facial mapping.
Yeah.
She didn't know that the guy was dead.
I think it's because I know what that man looks like, and it's just off.
That's why it's like, for people who know it's off, for people who don't know, it was fine.
Yeah, I could see that. I feel like it would have been distracting. I didn't miss Tarkin. You know, I was fine with him just being mentioned. I was like, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it, but yeah.
It wasn't even mentioned that much, actually.
No, just a couple times. He was name dropped like once or twice.
Yeah. And I don't think Vader was ever mentioned. The Emperor was mentioned, but obviously this is Emperor's.
Yes, I think they said Palpatine. Like, they straight up said, tell Palpatine. Like, bring that to him. And I was like, whoa. All right. Use it. We're on a name basis.
Sheev.
Yeah, right.
All right. I think that's all I got.
I had one last thing. I loved that they brought back the speech from the first series.
Nemec's speech.
Yes. And it hit so hard. And it was that moment. It was right before you just said his name. Pavlov took his own life. I loved that because it was so poignant, even for like, this show is so political. Like, just, we don't need to get into that, but there's so much beautiful symmetry and like commentary that's happening, whether intentional or not. It is very much a mirror right now to what could be ish. But there was a line about tyranny that I wanted to write down and then forgot, but it was so good. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I'm sorry. Hang on. Bear with me.
I have the scene pulled up, and you're right. He was listening to the recording, and he's like, this has basically inundated itself within the public, and you can't get rid of it at this point. And the tyranny requires constant effort.
Yeah, that was it. Tyranny requires constant effort. It breaks, it leaks. Authority is brittle. Oppression is the mask of fear. The day will come when all these skirmishes and battles, all these moments of defiance will have flooded the banks of the Empire's authority, and then there will be one too many. One single thing will break the siege. Like, that's solid. That's really good. I love authority is brittle and oppression is the mask of fear. How interesting is that line, right? What I just said is that power in the Empire is fickle, right? Mm-hmm. That's the same thing. Authority is brittle. In the Empire especially, like, you lose it in 5 seconds. We see it over and over and over again. People with power losing that power. Little by little, the Empire is eating itself. It's just the rebellion, like, kicking it in the teeth and making the whole house of cards fall. And that oppression is the mask of fear. Think about Vader, because obviously it said mask, right? So the first thing you think is helmet. Vader is behind a mask the whole time. What does Yoda say to Anakin?
Fear leads to hate?
Yeah. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. At his core, Anakin is a scared little baby, right?
Yes.
Oppression is the mask of fear. Is so reflective of Vader, but is so true as well. And yeah, it's what people do. When people are afraid of something, they try to oppress it. That's what happens in life, and especially here right now. So I think that was really poignant to put that speech in the near end of the show. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to shout that out because it really shows how important that manifesto was, and that it did end up kind of being the center of the entire story.
The seeds of rebellion. Yeah, it's within 15 minutes of the end of the show.
It's
end
real
of the
close
series.
to the end. Mm-hmm. It's really good.
No, that's thanks for bringing that up. I had forgotten about that. That was
yeah.
Just hearing, because it's the same actor's voice too.
Yeah.
That did it, and I'm like, that's that right there is the stem of rebellion, the seeds of rebellion, and Tony Gilroy has gone on notice to say, like, he's like, I didn't write this show within the last couple of months of the current political administration. He's like, that's literally impossible.
No.
But the fact that it mirrors the current administration so much tells you everything.
It really does. It's talking about human nature, I think, and like systems of oppression. And he's writing about empires and dictatorships, and the fact that what we're in has elements that mirror an empire and a dictatorship is very telling. Mm-hmm. I think that's interesting.
So, anything else?
No, that was it. That's what I got.
All right. And with that, you can find us on all some of the social medias at Talkin Tauntauns. You can find us on our website, talkintauntauns.com. You can email us, contact@talkintauntauns.com. You can leave us a 5-star review wherever good, bad, or indifferent reviews are left. And most importantly of all, share the show with a friend. And with that, we'll see you next time.